While season 1 of the long-awaited Hazbin Hotel was at best for me, I was willing to hold out hope for season 2. And girl, am I so glad we did! This season had amazing songs, the animation was stellar, and the V's just stole the show. Subjective truths, but even objectively speaking, this season was an improvement of season 1, but as always, the world building is a mess, and the main cast feels ever so divided. Ah, wonderful! Another review where I play mediator. And we're gonna need it, Spade. Badly. I couldn't do weekly reviews, but as episodes aired, I jot down my thoughts, one episode at a time, as if I was talking about it weekly. Now I wonder how much hindsight I had this season. Hype, subscribe, like, leave a comment, and let me know what your thoughts are below as we go through Hazbin Hotel Season 2. The first episode of Season 2, New Penchas, explores the aftermath of the previous season finale. And that was about a month later? Does every episode just happen within a span of a month or something? Am I playing Pokemon Conquest, where after every battle it takes a month to recover? What is going on here? Just seems like a long period of time for shit to get itself sorted out and the reactions across the Pride Ring. The fallout would have made more sense if it was like a week or two later, but yeah, you know what, let me stop. I'm nitpicking already. Let me just save that for Clover. As the hotel is bustling with new guests, reporters are hounding the staff with questions while they try their best to manage their operations. Except for Alistair, who is refusing to help. Like you've been so useful as is already. Is it that he won't help or he can't help? His staff is still broken after all, and as seen from the trailers, he's still suffering from that wound from Adam. It took Alistair nearly dying to finally become interesting and mysterious to us. Let that sink in. While Charlie is having a nervous breakdown over the loss of Sir Penchas, but not even acknowledging her other pet dragon goat thing of permadeath, okay, whatever. Vox plots with the V's on how they're gonna use hell to overthrow heaven to become gods. When he was alive, Vox used to be a cult leader and enjoyed having followers worship him. Okay, God complex, petty swabbles, my little man has something to prove, but no one ever gave him the chance or the respect he felt he was owed, so he manipulated his way to the top. Oh, I love that for him. Aside from Alistair last season, this is the second time a sinner mentions what their life was like when they were on Earth. And yes, please, more of this. So it actually feels like these characters are in the afterlife and not just some non-Earth red alien planet. Discussing their previous lives adds depth and greater context to them that I don't need to get from wikis or interviews. These sinners are not just some aliens, they are humans, and most of them are in hell for good reason. In your face, Clover. I told you season 2 had more to offer if we just held out hope. I still think that's what the first season is for, but I'll admit, I don't hate how the season has started so far. Yet, there have been improvements in the delivery of exposition though. I know we would have preferred if season 2 had started with a new commercial of the hotel, but Katie and Tom recapping the events of the previous season and asking what's next to come is far more organic than just the characters talking at each other again. Yes, Clover, plus the news team being under VoxTech builds up the V's becoming the new antagonists of this season. And that's where I've cut enough slack. Ah, boy. To go from Adam and the angel exorcists of heaven to the three stooges overlords of hell is a massive downgrade in terms of stakes. The V's should have been season 1 antagonists to further open the world up of hell and the dynamics between them and the hotel. We have Vox and Valentino that perfectly mirror Alistair and Angel Dust. They're the only ones with the closest connection to the V's. How is something so obvious just glanced over? Yes, that's a fair critique. However, now that season 1 has hastily laid the foundation, we can go into season 2 with actual expectations and follow-ups to the previous season. It's like watching someone walk off a broken leg. A painful start, but progress is being made. Exactly, Spade. I love that they're not shying away or sweeping under the rug of what happened last season. Honestly, I was afraid that they were just going to backtrack to redemption with no consideration as to what happened last season. Angel wants to participate in more sessions and is opening up more. Such growth from last season, because he's actually trying. Well, I hope we get to see it this time. That part. As much as I love the idea of Angel growing more comfortably at the hotel, the attempts of his redemption were largely off screen, and mentioning it in passing, girl, come on. Especially during Vaggy's trust exercise, we're told how well he gets along with everyone instead of seeing it firsthand. It robs us of seeing such emotional connection between these characters and that we can see them carry beyond the surface level. Yeah, because as much as Charlie is crying over Sir P, she barely got to know him, and she's so disconnected from what the sinners have to face on a day-to-day basis in hell. So her mourning doesn't feel genuine, in my opinion. It's just kind of annoying, because Charlie's already a crier as is. It's attempting to be sad, but comes across as annoying at worst. Especially when Baxter came in, Charlie once again belittling sinners without even realizing it. So obnoxious. Unlike the first song of the episode, Hazbin guarantee Trust Us, which happens as abruptly as this transition. For the umpteenth time we have heard it now, I thought it served as a good recap of the hotel's purpose, reintroduces the characters' dynamics, and Shaggy were actually cute. The V's are already proving to be showstoppers with their half of the song, though. It really puts into perspective on what sinners have to live with. Either take a chance with the ditz princess of hell, who isn't even sure how redemption works, or sell your soul to an overlord for fame just to get taken advantage of, to ultimately be tossed aside. Now, these are the stakes I feel that we're missing in season 1 to make us actually care for sinners, and willing to believe that maybe not all of you deserve to be in hell. I wish Angel Dust was the protagonist at times, just to see firsthand what a sinner has to do to survive. Unfortunately, the sinners at the hotel got the wrong idea and thought that they were being trained to kill angels and not better themselves. Everyone leaves except for Baxter, a biochem scientist, remember that for later, interested in debunking the idea of redemption. Yet another character that would have been so much better suited for season 1, but you know, whatever, we're here now. Charlie having a heart-to-heart with Lucifer while a soft instrumental version of More Than Anything playing in the background was very warming. That was really sweet. I was worried that things would be too easy with the King of Hell at the hotel, but offering emotional support is great too. They also remind us that Lilith has been absent for some time, and they do miss her so. I'll talk more about Lilith in episode 2 because making her the neglectful parent instead of Lucifer was, you know, definitely a choice. The scenes in this episode jumps from the V's plotting and what's happening at the hotel, which already does a lot of jumping between scenes. Charlie gets a separate pep talk from Vaggy and Lucifer. Why they couldn't have had it together, I don't know. Would have loved to seen two fallen angels just comfort the girl that they love most. But okay, just me, Oh, but I love that Vaggy is looking to change her name. That's going to be such a great character arc for her. Perhaps, but I'm willing to bet they're just gonna end up with her keeping it as a form of empowerment, or she just ends up picking a name that someone will say, great name, we'll just call you Vaggy for short. Vaggy is one of Viv's oldest characters, and with how abrasive we've seen this fandom is when it comes to change, I'm not betting that her name's gonna change much. The second half of this episode is with the V's, and they give us the second song of the season, Once We Get Up There. And it's the Hell Is Forever Was to Adam, a perfect villain song that shows their motivation and end goal of conquering heaven. Velvet can make new designs from angel wings, Valentino wants angel pleasure prisoners, and Vox wants to be a god to have the power to stomp out everyone that's ever opposed him. Despite the V's not being as powerful as heaven itself, I am intrigued to see how they twist Charlie's hotel just to get more people on their side. And just when hell was starting to show some respect towards the princess too. Damn shame. It's gonna be so much fun to watch Vox and Velvet because they're sass masters with great stage presentation, while Valentino is unfortunately part of the package. Obviously, they're all bad people, but the fun in having charismatic villains is seeing how nonchalantly they are in chaos. But with Valentino, he is a different type of evil where the jokes at best won't land and at worst comes across as belittling survivors and victims. Seeing it in this episode alone, I understand that this joke was meant to be at Valentino's expense because that's how the setup started. Vox tells Velvet to stop arguing with overlords and Valentino to not hit angel dust in public because it's bad for their brand. Oh, but never mind how Vox caused a circle-wide blackout beefing with Alistair. Completely unprovoked, by the way. Pot calling kettle black much? But Val denies his actions, Vox shows clips proving otherwise, and he doesn't even acknowledge it. The joke was supposed to be, actually yes, Valentino, you do hit Angel a lot in public. But silly sound effects and the infamous Yowie paddle made it seem as though the joke was at Angel's expense, and thus left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. Rightfully so, and it comes into question how seriously this series treats SA. especially towards male victims that already get downplayed. I'm hoping if there's more jokes with Valentino that it's less of that and could be more of how dumb he is, or at least some clever jokes at his expense. May I remind you of the consent joke last season, and to this day people will argue over what happened despite it being clear as day that it was an SA joke. I know this fandom has a tendency to make excuses and to defend the show because they can't handle it being anything but perfect, or it gets wrongfully nitpicked to death. But let's remember to take a step back and consider perspective. Well, it wouldn't be so bad if Hazbin was more consistent on how it handles SA. You can't have a character like Angel Dust given his situation with Val and also make lowbrow jokes about SA. We don't watch Family Guy for loving family shenanigans. That's what American Dad and Bob's Burgers is for. It feels disingenuous and needs to pick a lane. Now that aside, I'd say the start of season 2 is a little overwhelming between the V's, the hotel, but it was needed to set up this season's conflict and struggle between them. But Emily confirming that redemption works in the end was a great way to end this episode and leads us right into the next one. Some people preferred the season to start with this episode, but it's fine as is because it happens at the same time as the first episode. I'm so relieved they gave Heaven and Hell their own episodes to decompress the events of the first season and not cramming it into one episode. Well, usually I'm all for a good cramming, but the separation made it more digestible. Storyteller wastes no time and starts with Serpentius standing before all of Heaven's officials, pondering and questioned as to why and how he made it into Heaven in the first place. We are introduced to the Speaker of God who encourages Pentius to tell his story and of how he ended up in hell, because he witnessed Jack the Ripper, who was his client at the time, claiming a victim that night and he didn't report it. He carried that guilt until he died, and bada bing bada boom, he went to hell for it. That's it. He went to hell because he was too much of a coward to bring a killer to justice. That's so stupid! But what if that's the point? No! Okay, just hear me out. Yes, it's kind of silly, but what if hell in this universe operates as such? Sinners were always frowned upon by Heaven, and the slightest bad deed could send someone downstairs. Looking at Hazbin Hotel with the smallest grain of Bible influence, cowardice is considered a sin. Now, you can say it's silly and unfair, but that could be commentary on how strict the Bible can be when it comes to right and wrong doings. No, because even though we're just now learning what it takes to redeem a soul, we don't even know what it takes for a soul to be accepted into heaven or hell. The moral grandstanding doesn't work because they both operate in black and white thinking. Will a person on earth be sent to hell if they had to take a life out of self-defense? Or what if they caused an accident but made amends with those that they hurt? Are they going to hell for hurting someone unintentionally, or heaven for making amends? No consistency of morals, and it's just more bad world building with answers we have to hunt down. Clover, agree to disagree. Regardless, his story helps shed light on how redemption actually works. Sinners would have to atone for the mistakes that they made while they were alive, cleansing their soul and allowing them to ascend. Because Serpentius did nothing to bring the Ripper to justice while alive, but had the willingness and bravery to sacrifice his afterlife to save Cherry Bomb and his friends, he was redeemed. But what about all the war crimes and slaughter he did while in hell? Surely he should have done more to atone. What difference does it make when it mattered more so why he went to hell and not how he spent his days in hell? Sinners don't truly die unless it's by angelic weaponry anyway, according to sources. We'd be splitting hairs at this point. He's made amends and he ascended. What's done is done. He'd be as confused and stubborn as Lute, or try to make peace with it like Sarah. Lute is on the verge of just losing it, and I love it. Out of all of Heaven, she's impacted by Adam's death the most, to the point where she's hallucinating about him. Clearly, it's all in her head, but her unstable mental psychosis could bring great trouble not just for hell, but also heaven. Gravity is a phenomenal song. The lyrics are gripping, the beat slaps, and the animation is beautifully tragic. Lute is ready to tear down hell and get revenge. Personally, I never saw Lute and Adam's relationship as romantic. Heaven forbid a dedicated soldier just has a lot of respect for her commander. It could be interpreted as romantic love, but not required to be read as such. There's already plenty of couples and ships in the show already. One less ain't hurting it. While Lute is turning Adam's office into her personal mental break room, Sarah is discussing with the speaker about her guilt over all the slaughtered souls. Now that redemption is proven to be a possibility, she's even more guilt-ridden. Sarah's confession is beautiful and reminds me of "you'll play your part from Friendship is Magic." And I mean that in the best way possible. I knew Sarah wasn't evil, she was just doing what she thought was best and was already carrying so much guilt over that burden. Her deciding to lock down Heaven until they can plot out their next plan of action was a smart move to keep hell at bay for now, because they're eager to keep killing angels. Sarah is once again acting upon the betterment of Heaven. Good leadership requires making tough decisions, and this lockdown should buy them some more time. Such as the burden of a black-coated woman must carry, always having to make the hard decisions. And her song was so beautiful, it felt like I was back in church. Between Sarah's confession and Gravity, I'm already loving the variety of music genres this season. Oh, and Serpentius is missing his friends, feeling miserable while Emily is showing him around Heaven. Well, that was an okay song. Like You was fun and gave us a quick looks around Heaven. And Heaven looking so barren adds weight to the commentary of Heaven and Hell's standards. Hell is famously overcrowded, while Heaven barely has enough winners roaming around. Pentious trying to off himself and loving his new egg voice were the funniest moments of this series. And then there's Lilith. Why is she avoiding her family? Is she actually Eve? Is Loot Eve? Is Rosie Lilith? Who the knows? I feel like at this point Lilith is just being a very, very dragged out long con of who done it or who's who, but I really hope it makes sense and pays off in the end, because it ponders more questions than answers if Lilith is even really Lilith, or if Lilith is Eve. Really puts into question as to what the they're trying to plan here. But hey, it's a mystery, it got me intrigued, and I'm very curious to see how it plays out. Emily went to Charlie about Heaven's lockdown and Sir P's redemption, which mirrors the end of episode 1. And of course, it proves me right. These episodes were happening simultaneously. Never doubted it. I'm already seeing massive improvements just from these 2 episodes alone, and I'm hoping it keeps up this momentum for the rest of the season. Though there are some things that can still be nitpicked, but despite how hollow most of the relationships are, and how much legwork you have to do to make sense of the world building, I see the vision of the story they want to tell and the slight improvements along the way. It's like watching a toddler learning to walk. Sure, they fall down, but they get right back up again. For every flaw, there's also the great potential that keeps us intrigued to tune in. Like I said, I couldn't review each episode weekly, so instead this review is being written as each new pair of episodes drop. Forward to looking back at how optimistic I was for this series, and either watching it grow or diminish over the course of this review. But hey, if you're enjoying what you're watching so far, make sure you subscribe, hype, like, all that shit. And let me know if I'm wrong, or right, or agree, or disagree. And just like that, my faith in this show could not have sunk any lower. Oh, come on. No, you come on. I understand Charlie is on an ego high after Emily confirmed that redemption worked, but girl, inviting 2/3 of the V's, 1/3 of which is Angel's owner, that you've seen firsthand how terrible he is to your so-called friend, and more willing to listen to the media overlord's words at face value than the actual sinner she's been trying to better, is by far the stupidest thing this smooth-brained, bottom-of-the-barrel, blonde bimbo bitch has ever done. No, wait, even worse. How does Charlie even think redemption would work if she doesn't even know why a sinner is in hell in the first place? Angel has been at the hotel for like, what, 2 years now? And you didn't think to ask him what got him sent down there in the first place? Are you fucking kidding me right now? How can you say that you care about these sinners when you don't even know the first thing about them?
I have never in my life yelled at a girl like this. When my mother yells at this, it's because she loves me. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you?
We've seen Charlie make bumbling, idiotic mistakes in the first season, but recognize she hurt the people she cares about most through her actions and made amends with them. Girl even wrote a lesson on boundaries after invading Angel's job. I was so proud to see her coming into her own title as princess and leading sinners when she needed them most in season 1's finale. Charlie has seen her people suffer from exterminations for the past 7 years. You mean 7 years. One problem at a time. And all she wants to create is a non-violent solution by redeeming sinners. So why in the 7 layers of hell is she not only making the same mistakes, but worse? Once again, putting Angel front and center to prove redemption is possible, but because Charlie is still sad over the snake, she just tries recreating his redemption with Angel, which nearly gets him and Husker a divine skewering if not for Vaggie. Oh wait, she's still finding a new name for herself. Well, let's just keep calling her Vaggie in the meantime. No, more vaginal puns instead. Sorry, Spade, I like Hart's suggestion more. It's funnier. Speedrunning Redemption is a wacky fun song that shows Charlie's understanding of redemption as just do nice things, and nothing deeper than that. Nothing tied to the betterment of an individual, just broad sweeping gestures of kindness is enough, maybe, who knows. Well, maybe that's meant to be the point of Charlie. She is naive and sheltered after all. We saw the full extent of her naivety in season 1. By season 2, she should be more mature, not less. Luce Nocetta from the Owl House, for example, went from a wide-eyed naive nerd from season 1 to having a better understanding of her circumstance, taking the stakes of the story more seriously and being proactive to better help her newfound family. And that was just by season 2 and onward. The point of a main character is to see them grow through these mistakes to become better, not worse. Oh, that's not a fair comparison. The Owl House had far more episodes than that of Hazbin Hotel, despite being cut short. Yes, but that doesn't change the fact that both main characters experienced life-changing events in their respective stories, where one was pushed out of her comfort zone, learned and adapted to her situation, and the other experienced war and loss over her dream, but despite the mountain of support she has, is somehow even more ignorant to her surroundings. I don't hate Charlie. I just want her to grow up. She is failing her first resident. Angel Dust has the right to be mad at both Charlie and Husk for pushing him into this nonsense. Vox drops the bombshell of the century. What sent Angel Dust to hell was murdering his father. What? A character committing patricide? Wow, oh my gosh, groundbreaking drama, unbelievable. I did not see that coming. Who would have guessed that Angel Dust had issues with his father? This show truly breaking new boundaries, because I have never, ever, 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 ever heard of such daddy issues before. Vox and Velvet were so much fun to watch as they made Charlie even more miserable. Vox cut the brakes to the train as if he was trying to help. No surprise! Vox and Velvet got everything they needed to frame the hotel as a sham and Charlie as a tyrant that only cares about her faves. Charlie just keeps making things worse once again by not listening to her friends, girlfriend, father, just her well-meaning ego causing disasters once again. Plus, Vox makes a good point, asking for proof that Penchas actually made it to heaven. Otherwise, who's to say that Charlie is lying or using confirmation bias to back up her claims? Explain. Confirmation bias is when your personal beliefs meet factual evidence and you cherry pick the facts that better support your beliefs. Like shippers. Show them 2 or more canonical best friends or characters just standing next to each other, but because they ship them, every little moment becomes shipping fuel. From gestures of kindness to them just standing next to each other, even more so if it's a canon pair. That's confirmation bias. I see. So because Charlie thinks all the childish sharing activities they did last season might have played a hand in redeeming the snake, but in reality, it was his sacrifice on the battlefield because it made amends with the sins of his previous life. Precisely. While Charlie believes that anyone, not everyone, can be redeemed, is optimistic, but she should focus on the sinners she has at the hotel now because they are there and want to put in the work. It means so long as a sinner is willing to put in the effort to better themselves, then there is hope of redemption for them. I don't think someone like Vox can nor should be redeemed because he clearly doesn't want to. He doesn't want to put in the work to reform. He'd rather have power and control people, and it's that hubris that will ultimately lead to his downfall. Let's see what else in this episode. Oh yeah, Cherry Snake's song and the subplot there. While a fantastic duet, their vocals blended so well together that I couldn't help but enjoy it. I don't care about the ship, I really don't. This thing was a crack pairing from the pilot and just carried over into the series for some reason. If the show focused on world building and plot as much as it does providing shipping fuel, Hazbin could reach skyrocketing potential. Baxter is supposed to be here to prove redemption isn't possible. Season 1 shit, if you ask me, but he's just here to Cherry Snake exposition exposition dump. It's too bad, I like his character, and he's an anglerfish, but presents masculine. Only female anglerfishes have those lights, so it could possibly mean that Baxter is trans. Honestly, you could cut the cherry snake stuff from this episode and nothing would change. The fact that it's being mentioned towards the end of this segment proves my point enough. While Alistair is off visiting Rosie to be reminded once again of his place, Charlie and Nifty try running damage control at Vox's news station. I like half of this episode. The half with Charlie is just what we see in the previous episode, but now embarrassing herself in front of all of hell live. A fan service nudge to the pilot of a similar scene, which makes me miss Katie Killjoy's old VA. Last season I said I didn't mind Brandon Rogers as Katie, but at that time we didn't hear enough of him speak. Now I see that's just been made to his own self-insert character that he plays, and all I can hear is Blitzo. Nifty's song was fun and cute, but people called it racist for some reason. Huh? That's a new one. I'd love to hear the reasoning as to how a Japanese character singing in Japanese, voiced by a Japanese actress, is racist. If anything, it adds more variety to the genre of music the show uses, and considering last season was mainly pop, this is a welcome surprise. You could say it's the fault of the show for not making it clear that Nifty is meant to be Japanese, or this is how we learned she is Japanese, and people are making mountains out of molehills. I fear that the critical sides of the community have their guards way up and ready to call out anything at this point. Come on guys, we're better than that. Let's stick to the real critiques here, please. Yeah, like how Charlie is getting sidelined in her own female-led show by, and I hate to admit it, far more compelling male characters. Yet another dumb decision she's making by even bringing Nifty to a new studio, knowing she shuts down in front of cameras. That's not a character flaw, that's an idiot plot and bad writing. And once again, she's not listening to her girlfriend, who's been running the hotel in Charlie's failing journey to fix their reputation. And unlike her girlfriend, Vagisil has definitely grown to better handle the hotel and the guests. You call not throwing guests into turf wars growth? Hey, it's a start. Meanwhile, the second half of the episode has my curiosity as to what Alistair has scheming. Wow, it's almost like he's actually being mysterious and not a collar-popping fake gangsta. Finally! Lucifer speaking nothing but facts to Alistair makes him quit.
You're still here?
Someone has to actually help out around here,
Mr. Useless.
What do you actually do here?
Well, I'm the host of the hotel.
Stop the cap.
I thought that was Charlie's girlfriend's job. Because she, my friend, is on it with running this whole hotel. You're doing a poor job at that. Oh, and I hear you got your ass kicked and ran away when Charlie needed you most. Sure, good thing I showed up. You should use a coat.
That's it. Fuck this. I quit.
That's it, Bambi. Walk away.
That's right. Run away, you edgy fraud. It's what you do best. Can I just say that the Alistair shade this season is simply exquisite and so satisfying. I know, right? All of last season we had to put up with Mr. Ooh, look at me. I'm so important and so powerful. And then BAM! Adam sent him running. Mr. Strong, you sinner, thought he could go toe-to-toe with an archangel and without angelic weapons? Hilarious! Take a page out of Lamar's book. Nigga, sit down. Be humble. Speaking of, we get even more information about Alistair from Rosie, whom he sold his soul to in order to become powerful in the first place. Well, they actually committed to him being black, despite clearly the human design has been made long after the demon one, which makes his chopped, bobbed, incorrect period outfit headass even more racist somehow. And I know people will take issue with the song, don't you forget, because Rosie called Alistair her pet and being in her zoo. But here's the thing, you guys. They're in hell. He knew what he was getting himself into. Alistair is indebted to Rosie for granting him that great power he loves to flaunt. Could the writers have been a little more self-aware towards the implications of a quote-unquote black man being owned by a non-black person? Yes, but let's not forget Alistair also owns Husk, also another black-coated man. Oh, and you know how white people love to point out how black people owned black people too. What happened to the "it's hell, what do you expect" crowd, huh? Getting awfully quiet there in the back. fuck. And I highly doubt the writers for Hazbin Hotel were going to give a message about classism or racial injustices. And if they did, it'd probably go as well as Hell of a Boss handled theirs. Oh my god, let it go, Clover. Every day. Now, if you want to complain about something racist this episode, how about the unnecessary use of voodoo in botched Veve since Alistair used a pentagram to contact Hell? Pentagrams are not used in voodoo practices, or how he was never intentionally designed to be mixed, let alone Creole in the first place. Now, Cajun, now that would have been the obvious solution there. That's still South Louisianan. Or just make him white and he's in hell because he's misused a commonly misunderstood clothes practice for evil. I'm just calling a spade a spade. It's cultural appropriation. It's pure ignorance. It's racism. Alistair keeps proving his fraud status by picking a fight with the V's, and it's hilarious how he gets mowed down by each one of them. Let's give the play-by-play, shall we? Now! Vox, the TV head titan, hits the ground running, tackling Alistair into a corner. But oh no, the radio reject caught him monologuing and slammed him into the building. And the way that Alistair is holding his chest, yep, you guessed it, folks. That scar is still giving him issues. He is working with a major handicap, folks, but that's nothing new for Mr. Play to win.
Daddy's home.
Next combatant, we have the booty warrior Valentino! Using his smoke as cover, he comes in shooting, and I bet that's not even his first load of the day. He's charging head first, using his wings to deflect the radio fraud's tentacles, which is the worst weapon to use against an overlord of adult film. Val tries hitting him with a 1-2 no biscuit special, but Alistair is keeping his guard up until the molesting Mothman sends a shot clean through Al's gut. The Pimp King aims for a killing blow, but Alistair had a trick up his sleeve, sending his mini minions to throw Val's aim off. It is not looking good for the mulatto masochist, which is probably what his hell barber told him about that chopped ass bob.
Now who we killing? And can I film it?
And here comes the fierce fashionista Velvet to give the Hot Topic icon a trim. With the power of her simps, Spencer's Bratz has speaker voice on the ropes. But what's this? Alistair stretched his shadow to hail her a cab. Oh my gosh, what a gentleman! But don't relax for long, folks. Sparks are in the air, and you know what that means. Yes, our 65-inch flat screen schemer goes in for seconds. Intimidation Man does what he does best, hiding in the shadows, which is by far the blackest I've ever seen Alistair. But Vox ain't trying to play peekaboo, and just before sending the loudmouth into a second afterlife, his slaves, the cat card caper and pesticide princess, Husker and Nifty are thrown into the fray. Now we got Black Girl Magic versus the Magical Negro, and Booty Bad Touch versus Tiny Knife Play, leaving it to radio versus TV once again. But it seems that Alistair has another plan up his undercut to appease Vox's ego. Alistair offers Vox a deal, take him in as a captive in exchange for sparing his slaves and not laying a hand on Charlie Morningstar. Vox accepted that deal like it was Black Friday, and in this case, it basically was. Alistair is now his captive, and Vox is acting like he just solved world hunger, because there is no sweeter taste than that of revenge. Man's throwing parades, humiliating Al on television, taking him on a date. Okay, pack it up. Vox is not beating the jilted ex allegations. Vox got Al in the cock chair, my dudes. He's been planning this shit for decades. I can feel it. All of Vox's clothes are piled by Alistair. You know he's been throwing at them all night. Well, Al has a uncomfortable front seat to it all. But this is peak lick back, folks. Ego tripping, popping the collar as he fucking should. Vox prayed for days like this. He's won! At least that's what he thinks for now. That was fun. We get a flashback of their falling out. I love Vox's retro TV ad. It matches him and it sounds so muffled like an old TV. Oh, he's so cute. Now that's some great sound design and attention to character detail. Vox wanted Al to go into a partnership to rule as radio and video overlords of hell, but Alistair just laughs him off. How pathetic of Vincent to even think of asking for help. To combine their efforts to be top dogs? There's no friends in hell after all. There's no friends in hell after all. Right, and remind me of how Fraudster got his powers again. What a bitch, he was so mean to my poor wide-eyed baby. Look at his hand, it was shaking, trembling, he was looking down, oh my god. He just wanted to go to business together, you bully. He's a racist cult leader Hart. Oh, sue a man for having hobbies, why don't you? We get a reprise of Don't You Forget by Vox and a callback to Stayed Gone. Delicious. The songwriting has gotten so much better this season. Palatable. I gotta say, I didn't want to understand, but Static Smile shippers, I get it. I didn't want to get it, but I get it. The hate fucking would go crazy.
Just fuck already.
Hey Clove, before we hop to the next episode, what was that about 7 years ago? Oh yeah. Katie Killjoy said the extermination started 7 years ago. Same time, Lilith went missing and Alistair disappeared. Probably some twist just waiting to happen to connect them all. Okay. Angels have been cleansing hell for about 10 years. Season 1 made it feel like it's been happening for centuries, though. No? Well, to be fair, Hart, the angels have killed thousands of sinners in such short amount of time that perhaps it's the impact that stuck with them more so than the time frame. Okay, but it just feels like we should have known this since season 1. This changes everything! I mean, does it? All it does is recontextualize headcanons that were going to be proven right or wrong anyway. I guess. Oh, wait, one more question. How come Charlie isn't doing anything to save Alistair? What happened to the Hazbin guarantee? And all that family talk, huh? Well, Hart, I'm so glad you asked, because the answer is quite simple. It's because I know I can be vocal about my criticisms of the show and even nitpick it at times. Oh, very much. Extremely. Be that as it may, I'm also willing to give flowers where they are owed. Episode 5, Silenced, is by far the best written episode of all the Helliverse, and it's not even that much of a competition. Now that bar might be low, but this episode had what others constantly struggled with. But there's still like swearing and junk. The swearing is a moot point by now. I do not care anymore. This episode had the best use of its songs for exposition, building tension and drama to follow into the next episode. It's nearly perfect. Agreed. Bad With Us is a Hairspray 1950s bop that opens the episode with news of Alistair's defeat spreading across hell. Overlords are no longer second-guessing Vox and his abilities. The V's are rallying overlords and sinners to join their side to overthrow heaven. Meanwhile, Charlie is exhausting herself trying to reach out to Emily in heaven, determined to, again, get proof needed to stop Vox, which gives Lower Lips an idea to ask Lucifer to help out and put the fear of the King of Hell into Vox.
I cannot smite him. You see, it isn't just a place, it's a punishment, and mine is that I'm stuck here with all these sinners, can't kill them.
Well, that would explain why Lucifer isn't an active ruler now. But with all that power, doesn't it seem like a waste that he can't even harm the sinner? Not necessarily. In this world, hell is a place of punishment, and Lucifer is being punished himself and being around the very sinners he despises and can't bring them to harm. He's stuck watching the worst aspects of humanity. It's like the old saying goes, hell is other people. Surely if you were trapped in a bottomless pit with people you hate, but had no means of destroying them, that would be your personal hell too. Oh, Clover. That's just having a Twitter account. The angels visit and plan an apology at Vox's rally, bringing gift baskets. I guess 40 heavenly acres and a heavenly mule just weren't available. Back with the V's, they're preparing for their rally. Alistair is getting into Vox's head about relying on his team. Wanting to prove him wrong, Vox asks Val and Vel to sit backstage. There it is. Rising tension. I think Alistair plans on breaking up the V's, which would cause disorder for hell. If he can't be in power, then no one can. Instead of smiting, Lucifer tries bluffing as Vag advised, but to no avail. At least the song was a banger. Oh, no doubt. Vox Populi was pure propaganda, enticing and empowering hell to conquer heaven for themselves. But of course, as we know as the audience, Vox just wants to be God and shut down his doubters. But he knows he needs to rally sinners to do it, feeding them whatever they need to hear to be on his side. And the sad thing about it, he isn't even wrong. Vox is already playing with a stacked deck thanks to the last season, proving that angels can be harmed. All it takes is empowering wayward souls to join a fight to prevent another extermination. Making Lucifer look powerless helped in that effort too. I don't know what made Vox so confident that he can stand against the King of Hell himself, but doing so definitely helped in his propaganda parade.
Come on! You were talking all that good shit a second ago. Then I blew your fucking legs off. What the fuck? What's wrong, demigod? Just grow back your legs, summon up your demons, hit me, fight me, give me a hug.
The angels arrive, gift baskets in tow, to make their grand apology, but once again, Vox spins it to support his own agenda, and once again, he's not necessarily wrong. This is what makes him a great villain. Strategical, sharp-witted, and saying exactly what the people need to hear to support his claims. Seriously, if you could simply apologize with just a gift basket alone for genocide, a lot of countries would be handing them out by now by the boatloads on a daily basis around the world, especially from Europe, mainly from Europe. All from Europe. Gotta love Emily for trying her best to apologize, though. Her naivety is actually far more enduring than Charlie's because as an angel in heaven, of course she doesn't know anything else about sinners. So her character arc this season is actually way more engaging. Vox makes a good point that even though the exterminations happen in such a short amount of time, thousands of sinners have perished from them. Hell has every right to not forgive nor forget what heaven has done, which justifies Sarah's decision for the extermination in the first place and proving Lute right. Fearing sinners like Vox could rally hell to overthrow heaven, forcing the angels to keep their numbers low, without the consideration that there could be some good amongst the bad apples, or even an alternative to the exterminations. And now with the proof that redemption is possible, and with a few sinners at the hotel, the numbers could stay down like heaven wanted without bloodshed. But we are far past that point now. Now this is the moral dilemma I've wanted from Hazbin Hotel. Right? There's so much to sink your teeth into. It's just too bad their princess is amoral and useless. Seriously, Charlie, you see Emily getting backed into a corner, Sarah turning into her ugliest form she's ever taken, and you're just once again standing there doing nothing? It's aggravating. You did nothing when Alistair was taken by the V's, and you're still doing nothing while Vox rightfully shits on the angels. What happened to protecting your friends, huh? By now, you must know better than to underestimate Vox. He has twisted your words more than enough times. How can you be so useless? Oh my god. Stand aside, Sakura Haruno. The new queen of useless is Charlie Morningstar. We all owe Princess Star Butterfly an apology for the things she did. Lace Star had a character arc and grew. Okay, we know Lucifer can't hurt sinners because that's his punishment from heaven. But what's Charlie's excuse? You're making it even easier for Vox to declare war on heaven, and now every sinner is leaving the hotel that your fucking girlfriend and friends worked so hard to maintain while you're having a fucking pity party and leaving your mom non-stop voicemails.
You're the fucking is my dad.
Oh, now the nigga can get some bass in his voice.
You know what? No, you don't have any right to be mad at your dad for actually wanting to help. At least he tried flexing what authority he held to make Vox stop. You should try it sometimes, Miss Princess of Hell. All that grr facing you did last season. Come on, where was it there, huh? What a fucking joke. And thank you so much, Virginia, for being the only person here with some damn common sense and calling out Charlie's obsession of correcting the V's is actually hurting the hotel. It's so refreshing for once to see a couple having justified reasons as to why they're bickering and in the wrong. Charlie had the hotel's reputation's best interests at heart to prove that it works, but her ego and pride blinded her from the obvious warning signs of the V's, and her friend's cries of concern fell on deaf ears. Meanwhile, Vaggie has been managing the hotel very well upon Charlie's behalf, but constantly playing into Vox's games causes all of that hard work to go down the drain as sinners leave in droves. It's so nice to watch a partner call out the other's harmful bullshit and not get out of it by crying like a little baby or laying the ignorant royal card or dodging responsibility by dumping it onto their partner or breathe. I'm good. It's just, I know. Throwing out her only available parent is the last straw. Smart move, princess. Not like you were even listening to his advice anyway. And despite it all, this was actually a really great episode. Well, I'm glad you think so, Clover. You know, it just kind of goes to show how far of a writer Vivian has gone. I mean, of course, she still has some improvements to go through, but what? Oh, yeah, this episode? Busy Pop wrote this episode. Really? It's true. Look at the credits. You know, despite directing every episode, she doesn't write every one of them. Well, I'll be damned. This is a massive improvement as a writer for her. Applause all around. So glad she finally heard us out and Shut up. Don't be a reviewer that takes credit for other artists' growth. It's demeaning. I apologize. These last few episodes are wasting no time at all. Picking right up after the rally, Vox arranges a deal with Carmilla to supply them with holy weapons. Just had to force an apology out of Velvet first. How dare! A black queen doesn't have to apologize for nothing nohow. To be fair, she was being disrespectful during that Overlord meeting last season. The more allies Vox can get to the throne heaven, the better. But my black queen disrespected a Latina queen. You want to play this game or admit your fave has faults that weren't race related? Fine, but it's gonna bite Vox in the ox cord the way he threw Vel under the bus like that. In due time, Vox is putting everyone in a bind. Carmilla agreeing to join just to protect her daughters, Phil and Lair. Yes, that's what I'm calling them. Yes, I know that they have actual names, and no, the show has not said it, so why do I have to do homework to find it out? Caused a rift between Carmilla and Zestial. Oh, he is so deliciously manipulative. Oh, such the egomaniac. Oh, so evil. Such villainy. I love it so. The girls are fighting, so Husker is out since Alistair can't force him to stay. Husk hangs out at an old casino he used to run as an overlord. I love that there's a casino in hell. It just makes so much sense. And as a resident of the Sin City itself, Love in a Bottle is a great song and with fitting visuals. Going from a winning streak high to being brought down into the dumps of Loserville. 'Tis the fate of every poor gambler. And we finally get to see Angel in drag. Looking beautiful. Slay Queen. Even better without that terrible mascara. Losing Streak is a saucy lounge song, and Blake Roman did an amazing performance. The Sapphics are trying to talk sense into Carmilla, but her mind is made up. Oh, bold of her to claim that this war started because they killed Adam. But this all actually started because Carmilla didn't bother hiding the body of an exorcist she killed. So who is really to blame here? Also, can we talk about V-Dog's quick PTSD moment? Oh, and how some people think it's a retcon? Please do. I don't know where anyone got the idea that Adam and Lute weren't complete assholes or are some sort of lawful good exterminators. No, honey. Episode 1 made it very clear that Adam enjoys the exterminations for fun, and Lute was exerting her righteous justice because she believes sinners are beneath heaven. I mean, from her perspective, why else would they be in hell? This is not a retcon, this is reinforcing what we already know. And why was this half a second scene nitpicked to all hell all over my timeline when this episode came out? And why is it always the first assumption that this chick is Volva's old girlfriend? It's a weak soldier looking out for another weak soldier. Why do people assume they're girlfriends? Why can't they just be friends or something else? I understand shipping is on its way, but come on, man. There's other relationships aside from romantic. Y'all are fucking annoying when you do this shit. Can't fathom a relationship that's not romantic. It's just pissing me off. Back with the V's, Vox wants to borrow Angel Dust from Val and wait a damn minute. What? Do you see Valentino's fit? Oh my Lucifer, he got that shit on! The crop jacket, the open chest shirt, the 24 karat chains, the white pants that match with the lower arm sleeves. Ooh, and the hat, and he got a pimp cane too. Oh my glory! He is making a splash with this drip. Shame it gets hidden under his stupid wing robes because, ooh, this is fire. I wish this was his default outfit. Frankly, I wish this was his default hat. That stupid poor man's top hat is ridiculous on him. That's not pimpin'. Now this is a pimp hat. That's a artist who's best friends with a cinephile and a fashionista who make date drugs. So like any ordinary pimp then. Now I know y'all heard of a pimp named Slickback. Pimpin' ain't nothing new to me. I've seen pimps in all sorts of media. I basically grew up on this pimp shit. Well now I just gotta call it like I see it. He a piece of shit, but he got that drip. Anyway, Alistair once again pokes at Vox's insecurities to boss around Velvet and Valentino. This is gonna be the ultimate fallout of the century. I cannot wait to see how this blows up in Vox's flat screen face. The best part about having a fun villain is seeing them get their satisfying comeuppance. Charlie and Clitorissa, look, I'm running out of these, okay? Make amends and sing their sexy fun song, Easy. Pros, Charlie is actually using that brain upstairs and apologizes to her hard-working girlfriend who got to voice her feelings. Good, good, good. Love that for them. Cons, the song happens abruptly and worse than respectless. Charlie's crying again, and Sir Vexen here comes across as thoughtless and inconsiderate, wanting to smash away the problems with her girlfriend. I understand what Vaggie was doing here, but it kind of shows once again her character is just just, oh, there, girlfriend, I'm here for you because I am your girlfriend and you are my entire life. Well, it's a nice song to remind Charlie that her and Baggy are a team that can do anything if they put their minds together, but I call bull on that dance being the sex scene. Like, for real, why is it that? The Helliverse is not shy about showing characters getting it on. It's just worth noting that the only sapphic couple that we see to have a sex scene has to be interpreted through dance. It's not being the Steven Universe allegations, I'll tell you that much. Oh, I'm sure someone will mention something about Viv being ace or whatever, but that doesn't excuse the criticism, especially when we've seen the Achillean and hetero relationships have far more explicit times in the bedroom. So I say again, what the helly? Hopping over back to the casino after a much better heart-to-heart between Angel Dust and Husker, which I'd like to point out again, because Alistair isn't around the hotel, that means Husk is free to roam wherever he wants. That fat-free cat could be slumming it at the casino all day long until Alistair returns if he wanted to. Meanwhile, Angel Dust gets a call from Valentino and it's be there or else demon time. Again, Loser Baby last season was meant to form a bridge between these two because they're both owned and mistreated by their respective overlords, but this just further shows it's not a one-to-one comparison because while Husk is owned by Alistair, he gets far more freedoms than anything else, as long as he doesn't talk out of turn. Angel, on the other hand, has not just Valentino to worry about, but the rest of the V's too. It's 3 times worse for him, and it just keeps getting worse now that it's revealed that Vox has been hypnotizing him to spy on the hotel this entire time? Dun dun dun! Justice for Angel! I've seen rightful criticisms that this was not built up at all, but looking back at season 1, you could interpret that brief moment during the Poison music sequence where we see Vox and Valentino talking and Vox just disappears. Maybe that was something there. Remember earlier in the episode of Radio Killed the TV star? The TV killed whatever, you know which fucking one I'm talking about. That episode, Valentino says, just put something inside. That's how I get the bitches to do what I want. Vox thinks about it, it's like, maybe someone on the inside is a good idea. Angel? Maybe? I don't know. You could say it's lazy, you could say it's retcon. You could squint back at season 1 and say that maybe it was happening here and there in the background. It was happening so much in the background that it could work either way because even Angel Dust didn't know he was being hypnotized. So I'm not mad at this twist. I think it's a little clever, so I like it. Lucifer walks into a very obvious trap, getting captured by Vox to power his angelic cannon. A cannon that rips heaven a new one. We get the song Brighter that explored how Vincent climbed his way to the top of entertainment by killing other TV hosts and even the producers. Great, another generic murderer origin of a sinner. Big whoop. You throw a stone in hell, you hit 4 of those. And wouldn't it be suspicious that the guy taking over an entire network also killed his predecessors and producers? I love a hostile takeover as much as the next gal, but the backstory feels underwhelming as hell. I'll blame a guy for wanting to bring a new age of entertainment. I love a man that has passion and drive. That man had a hunger that couldn't be satisfied. That man just got a bunch of people electrocuted when a television landed between his shoulders because he has a god complex. That man wasn't held enough as a child. Sparks were flying! Literally! Meanwhile, Charlie is doing what she does best during a time of crisis, blowing up her parental unit's phone line. For their sake, I hope they're not on a family plan. Angel Dust, still hypnotized by Vox, calls the hotel a joke to endorse the V's, and yeah, it's kind of funny how people can be evil or rude, but they're not wrong, technically. Even though he's lying and is hypnotized, looking back at what Charlie has done, or I should say what she has not done for Angel, I'm surprised this snap didn't come sooner of his own accord. Think about it. This princess of hell who claims to have love for every sinner constantly barges into their work life, making your abusive boss pissed to the point where it takes it out on you, plus inviting your boss's coworkers, also your bosses by proxy, just to put on a show for them to prove redemption is possible, just for it to end up with you and your new friend nearly getting skewered. Well, yes, but do understand that as the daughter of pride, Charlie is under immense pressure to save her people, and mistakes are bound to happen along the way. Well, that's awfully charitable to a character that's done next to no real growth since season 1. You want Charlie to be more complex than she actually is? Have her actually use that princess title she has and command some goddamn authority instead of acting like an airhead rich girl detached from the world. You know what? That's not even fair to say about her, because London Tipton can carry 2 more brain cells in her empty head compared to Charlie Morningstar star and still exude empathy for her loved ones. She was capable of leading sinners into battle last season, but now she gets reduced to a running gag of being barely able to breathe when trouble comes their way. Erica Henningsen is nailing Charlie's worried and wacky expressions. Her vocal range for this train wreck is the most impressive thing that I can say about Charlie all season. I am all for a flawed female character and will stand 10 toes down in defending the mistakes they made as part of their journey of betterment, but that is not the case for Charlie. It's not misogyny, she just got dumbed down hard, and the refusal of acknowledging it as such and just keep downplaying her mistakes and babying her feels far more misogynistic and playing into the whole "oh, you hate complex women" card. I wish she was complicated. She's as simple as a One Direction maze. Girl, that's crazy. Imagine calling Charlie complex while also ignoring the dilemmas Sarah and Emily are facing. Why women tears keep yelling the vice grip and defending mediocrity. Vox sends a warning to Heaven after showing his knights, leaving them a panicked mess. Lute wants to attack, Emily wants to talk to Charlie to make things right, Abel can't pick a lane, and Sarah's just freaking out. She's overwhelmed, man. Sir P and Sarah's conversation and song Live to Live offered insight on her struggles of upholding Heaven's duty of passing judgment and never having faults. Serpentius sheds light on how sins are caused by human fears, people doing unspeakable acts of cruelty just to get by, and I bet for some sinners that's probably the case and as to why they're unfairly in hell. Stealing is a sin, but when the reasoning is justified, it makes things more complicated, dictating on what's good from evil. Hazbin Hotel wants to be a show that poses the question, what makes a sinner different from a winner? I believe it could if it was more mature and had a firm grasp on its own morality. Charlie thinks to be redeemed you have to be nice, donate to charity, and be sober. Meanwhile, Sarah poses a deeper philosophical understanding and question of what does it even look like for a sin to be forgiven. Charlie tells you to be nice, Sarah wants you to be a good person. Serpentius learned from Charlie that sinners make mistakes that could be forgiven, but to what scale? Hazbin poses a lot of potential to have deeper conversations on what redemption could look like, but isn't mature enough or just wants to have chaotic fun instead of exploring morality. And hey, if it wants to have fun, I'm here for it. I love the craziness that's happening right now, but it feels like such a tonal whiplash when it wants to go from a goofy, wacky, haha hell show to yes, morality, good from evil, mankind. I don't go to Family Guy to discuss domestic issues. I go to watch assholes be assholes to each other in a cartoonish fashion. I go to American Dad if I want to see a semi-functioning family unit. I go to Solar Opposites if I want to see a bunch of amoral aliens be assholes but also have a functioning family. I go to Drawn Together if I want to see some woke, anti-woke, but also very woke, offensive humor. But with Hazbin, it wants to be taken surreal, but at the same time doesn't know when to take it self-surreally. This series is like if a preteen wrote an edgy moral oral fanfic about the Bible and throws in complex topics of good and evil without having the experience or knowledge to fully dive into those topics genuinely. I'm conflicted about this song because while it's great, it also feels out of place for Hazbin. Maybe it's just me because every time we flip-flop between heaven and hell, it feels like I'm watching two different shows. Hell is edgy and full of degenerates that make up the rules as they go along, while heaven feels far more mature and is just trying to make sense of its own morality and rules, complexities. It's a lot at times. I wish it just picked a lane or divide it in the middle. Alistair keeps poking the bear that is Vox, leading him to invite Charlie to a front row seat of him taking over heaven and using Lucifer as a bargaining chip. Emily drops in and suggests sending hell a broadcast from heaven to prove that the snake was redeemed. With Baxter's knowledge of Vox Tech systems that he designed himself, hey, remember when I said that he is a biochem scientist?
I am not an inventor, I am a scientist. There's a difference. I specialized in bioengineering.
How do you know about the security system?
Oh, I designed the whole system. Really? Yes.
Neither did the writers. So him and Sir P work on the back end for heaven, and the plan is set. Question. Oh boy. Now that the barrier that Heaven had up all season is gone, which cut off all contact from the other realms, instead of doing a broadcast, why not just project the snake to hell like Adam did in episode 1? Hello, genius. Then how would all of Heaven and Hell see him then, huh? We are way past the point of trying to prove the V's wrong. Now we have to make a big show of it. Fair enough. When I Think About the Future was a good song though, right? Oh my gosh, so cute. So many reprises. Valentino worrying that Vox will cast aside the V's and Velvet being honest about her feelings. All of it was perfect. I fully expected them to betray Vox, but still being on board with the plan to just later punish him just goes to show how much they really care about themselves as a trio and what they all mean to each other. Valentino is rightfully afraid that Vox will throw him aside once they rule heaven because he has feelings for Vox. Okay, sure, yeah, why not? Oh, they remind me so much of Terry and Corvo, the street-smart slacker slut and the no-nonsense narcissist, but evil. An evil odd couple. Ah, it's the closest thing I'm gonna get to radio dust. A tall, slutty bottom and his short king media demon. Ah! And Lute's big chance to some shit up is coming. Oh, I am so excited to see what's gonna happen next. Yeah, it's looking like another bloated finale, but at least they have 40 minutes for it. What could go wrong? I'm gonna tell them, don't. Okay, final episode. This is a lot going on here. Okay, so the gang section's off to stop the V's. Charlie will distract Vox as being his guest. Vagini here is working on the back end to dismantle the weapon. Cherry and Husker rescue Angel. Baxter and Nifty override the system so Sir P can send his broadcast. Sounds like a solid plan, all things considered. The way Vox is already showboating to Charlie, it seems to be working. Too bad Shockwave dropped dime, but we'll get back to that later. As Charlie starts her presentation, Vaggie finds Lucy, but doesn't alert her worried girlfriend of her father's whereabouts. Whatever.
Alright, princess, this is my
You can just tell he's saying bitch, but he's frying his circuits trying to yell. The one true way to defeat Vox, just mute him. This man loves using his words to trip people up. This is my favorite scene. It's so good. Velvet stops the shorties from sending the feed. She fights with Nifty. Guys, I know it's a makeup brush. It's not a mascara stick. I don't know makeup tools, okay? Just let me be free! Husk and Cherry had Angel Dust, but have to fight off Valentino and the Robo-Fizz. And hey, if you want me to do another like play-by-play breakdown of those fights like I did with the V's and Alistair, just let me know. That could be a thing. I had a lot of fun recording it, not gonna lie. There is so much fighting in this show. I would have never expected it. Oh, it's like watching how you imagined OC battles in your head. It's cringe, but freeing! Emily comes down to talk to the sinners to see their good potential, helping Charlie, but also completely stealing her thunder. Princess keeps getting tongue-tied. It's annoying. Vox gets his volume back, really letting Charlie have it, to make her say that he's the most powerful sinner in hell. Alistair uses the deal that they made last season to force Charlie's hand to declare Vox the most powerful sinner in hell. His approval ratings skyrocket, granting Vox immense power. So the more popular he is, the more powerful he becomes. It sure looks that way. Vox really does thrive off of attention. Egomaniac much. Ah, he just like me for real, Tinkerbell head ass. Vox continues to brag with his signature shoulder hold onto Charlie.
You absolute idiot!
Wait, what's happening now? You see, Alistair's deal with Rosie was broken once Charlie declared Vox as the most powerful sinner. I know, still not sure on how that works, just roll with me here. But when Vox touched Charlie, that also broke the deal between him and Alistair. Oh my god, you telling me Al snucked him with wordplay? Oh no, that's the most double-handed, devil-dealing thing you can do. Oh, the mulatto got him good, huh, Clove? Not so much of a fraud now, is he? One victory of 2D checkers is not enough for him to get off a fraud watch. If season 3 will have even more of that strawberry pimp, then he'll have to pull more of his weight to prove it. Because he has some nerve saying Vox needs his pet shark to take him down and never fighting him one-on-one, while Alistair didn't even start their fight fairly. He threw a bunch of his mini minions. I guess Al is better at playing mind games than throwing the ones. Nigga gotta jump or get jumped to get his way. In the midst of all the chaos, Vox uses the cannon to end Alistair. Finally, someone does it for me. But takes several other sinners out while doing so, leaving Better Charlie in Savior Complex to save sinners and to get them to safety. Emily even sacrificed her wing to save Alistair. No, his chopped ass was not worth it! Too bad Charlie can't fly, otherwise she could have been the one to save him, which would have been the most interaction they had all season. Also, Charlie, why are you just standing there? Emily told you to do something and now you do something. Oh my gosh, you apathetic princess. These are your people. Do something. Why are they making you not do anything? This season has a theme of do something. Serpentius, you didn't do anything to save those women against Jack the Ripper. Made a move to save Cherry and everyone else. Abel, you had to stand up against Loot to command your authority. Charlie, what the f*** are you even doing here? The group won their respective fights against Valentino and Velvet. After seeing Vox completely lose his shit, Carmilla helps dismantle the weapon, but if he tries firing again at supporting character, MVP of the season, and author's favorite, Carmilla warns Vox that the device could take out half of hell. And you know what? He doesn't give a shit. He never cared about hell. Heaven was just a means to an end to feed his ego. The only thing Vox has ever cared about was wiping that smug grin off of Alistair's face. So if it means he'll die too, well, that's just gotta be the way it gotta be. So fucking be it. Oh well. He'll gladly take the opportunity if it means putting down his ops too. And that's what I love about Vox. True villain shit here. True hater energy. It's giving 2012 Shredder from TMNT. Any villain with that much hate in their heart to risk their lives and the world just to take out their ops. You are petty, you are insane, you're crazy, but I love you. You are awesome for that. You're deranged! True petty king shit. He's crazy, he's out of his mind. It's beautifully tragic to see. I'm watching a man have a mental breakdown before my eyes, and I'm laughing. And all this because a nigga laughed in his face and said they weren't friends. Hey, if the Grinch can steal an entire town's Christmas because they treated him like an outcast, Vox can wipe out hell over a rejection. That's so petty. And those are the best type of lickbacks. But thankfully, Vel and Val stopped Vox before going through with it. Despite being reasonably mad at him, they still have each other's backs. Aw, they're like an even worse version of Team Rocket. Aw, evil family. But alas, they're too late. The weapon is overloaded and it's gonna blow. There's nothing that anyone can do. Nothing can be done. Okay, but like, hear me out. What if they just started singing and using their collective magic to subdue the explosion on some friendship is magic type shit? Oh, hearts, dear, you are as naive as Charlie if you think that'll work. That was stupid. That was beautiful. I found it quite nostalgic, actually. Emily stays upstage and Charlie at every feat. Let's go, my black queen. It should have been Charlie to start. Hear my hope. Crazy how Charlie keeps saying she cares about sinners, but Emily's putting those actions into her words. Loot, girl, where have you been? Well, at least you're taking your moment now. Poor Abel, having to have a quick character development during this, from being a coward to stopping Loot. The problem of having way too many characters in a short amount of episodes. But at the same time, I love that Carmilla was moved enough by their efforts that she and the other overlords joined in their magic to stop the weapon from exploding. And no, while I've been cooking her all season, Charlie isn't happy to see Angel's abuse her. She's just glad to see that the V's are joining in to help. Did y'all forget that she was also flashing a smile towards Velvet? Velvet was standing right next to her and closer to her than Valentino. Huh? I get it. You don't like Valentino. I don't like him as a person either. I like him as a villain. Overlords, sinners, angels, and royalty all working as one. Perhaps this is what Lilith had envisioned and had hoped to see, all sides united against a noble cause of not dying. Alistair makes a new deal with Rosie to most likely fix his staff in exchange to help. She seems to care so much for the hotel and everyone for some reason. Is she Lilith? Is she Eve? Who the f*** is Rue? We'll just have to keep watching to find out. Sir P gets his broadcast out, Cherry Snake moment, Baxter and Nifty moment, Mad Maid for the win, they cuter, Sarah and Emily are okay, big sister worrying for little sister, oh, I love them so much. Fox is definitely gonna get punished for all the bullshit he's put the V's through, and as for Angel Dust, well, being so broken about being an unknowing spy, he thought it would be best for him to stay with the V's. Oh, Angel Dust has been put through the ringer this whole show, and Charlie does nothing! What happened to the Hazbin guarantee? We're a family! She is pissing me off. Her apathy is no longer a flaw, it's a gaping gaping misdirection. Oh yes, because last time Charlie went to help Angel get away from Valentino, that went so well. Ugh, you know what I mean. Just leaving him to tend to other hotel guests makes her come across as heartless. I mean, Angel was the hotel's first guest, and he made a great sacrifice to keep them all safe. I'll miss him too. The manager of the hotel is Vaggie without the E. Called it. And Charlie is a counselor? What? Girl, no, you should not be counseling anyone. You need therapy, actually. You know what would be better though? Why not just have Emily work part-time at the hotel to at least show sinners that angels do care and that they're cool now? Help guide them into heavenly virtues. Why not have Charlie just be an ambassador to hell and work alongside heaven? Psh, you know what? Forget it. My ideas are better suited for fanfic at this point. Fanfic writers, those are some freebies for you. And after her long-ass recap of the hotel and how everyone's doing to her mom, Charlie gets a call back from Mother. Dun dun dun! End of season 2! This season might have its issues, but watching the V's, watching Fox makes up for like 90% of my complaints this season. I love them so much. It was so much fun to watch charismatic villains just be dicks to people. We have lost the plot of redemption, but it might come back for season 3. But for now, I'm seated to see how this shit show ends. Hazbin Hotel is overly ambitious, stuffing too many characters and plot points into a short season that it either falls apart, gets forgotten, or is a waste of time. Like, did we really need Cherry Snake? I'd say no, because now Cherry's core relationships are Angel Dust, her being her best friend, and Serpentiust's love interest. I don't know anything about her that's not surface level. An Australian explosive expert with punk rock elements does feel like a waste of an interesting character. Oh, and don't even get me started on the speaker. Where was she the rest of the season? Hell, where was she in season 1? The room that they're in grilling the snake is the same courtroom in season 1 where they have the trial. It even has a portrait of her in the back. What the fuck is happening? And you gotta love how much Charlie is pushing the idea of the hotel being a family when they're barely even spoken to each other this season. The V's were a much stronger family unit than the hotel. Fox had far more main character energy than Charlie ever did this season. He had a goal, made steps to see it into fruition and come to light, but it ultimately failed because he is the antagonist. But I could watch these bad guys just have breakfast and be entertained. Not gonna lie, when we go back to the hotel, I kind of mentally check out because Charlie's just on another white woman tears shenanigans. And you can only watch that over and over and over and over the same time until you're fed up with it. Which is a shame because Vaggie, now with an I, is doing such a great job of taking care of the hotel and the guests, and Husker playing therapist does sound engaging, but it feels like the show does not like sticking to the hotel aspect of Hazbin Hotel. Much like its sister show, Hell of a Boss, it's steering away from the original premise that got people interested in the first place for shipping, hype moments, and aura farming. But unlike Helva, I'm not dropping Hazbin after its second season. As bad as it might seem, it's still very fun and has some good elements in there. The animation and facial expressions are frames of beauty. I much prefer the songs from this season and could only hope they continue to improve the musical aspect of the show. I too am a theater kid, loved Hamilton, love Be More Chill, love Flavor's Lost is one of my favorite musicals. It's so awesome. It would be nice if they just stopped introducing more and more characters too, because as much as we like Baxter, he was a complete plot device. Oh no, yeah, for sure. Having the biochem scientist develop a security system does not align. Feels like they just needed someone vaguely tied with Serpentius to drop that exposition of him, and someone's like, scientist. Yeah, he's in a lab coat. Well, let's make him an engineer type. Okay. 2 different fields of study. Oh, whatever, I guess. Research at Hazbin Hotel? No way, because look at how everyone is dressed, despite all from being different time periods. Well, at least he had cute moments with Nifty in the background. Mad Maid for the win. But seriously, if I wanted to watch a show with female leads that actually focus on their issues, I have Tuca and Birdie. Or a show with genuine commentary on Christianity, their hypocritical followers, and how it affects their community, I'll stick to Moral Oral, thank you. But as for watching the scum of the earth be redeemed in the underworld while shenanigans ensue among the cast, Team 4 Star's Hiffle series has us covered. but Hazbin, as much of a headache as it can be, it's not as insufferable as Helva was. So in conclusion, world building is ever so inconsistent. Power scaling in this show, waste of time. Trust me, it's for the shippers. The songs and animation, outstanding, massive improvements, beauty. And I wish the writing could follow suit. So, overall, I'd say season 2 of Hazbin Hotel, peak trash television. It wasn't all the way there. If you think about some things too much, it will fry and short circuit your brain, but it was so fun. I can't be entirely mad at it. I would rewatch this season again. I have rewatched this season again. It's so much fun. At least we can objectively say it's better than season 1. And wouldn't that be the goal for any show when it gets past the first season? And despite it all, I am curious to see how season 3 and 4 follows up. So I won't quit Hazbin Hotel. For now. That's great, Clover, because I heard season 3 is going to have a theme of family, exploring the Morning Stars and Angel's family, and more insight onto Alistair, but at this point he's a more bearable author's favorite, getting to shine once again. Ugh, this show is written so fucking backwards, I swear. Ugh. That it will be, but we will be there to cover in tow and be in the fray of chaos. And I don't care what Viv says about her critics. I don't care about what every little small nitpick controversy of the week floods my timeline. I'm not spending my time arguing with people. I'm just gonna enjoy it. And if I find something that is a flaw, I will call it out as a flaw. At this point, guys, we have to be critical, not too nitpicky. Clover. But yeah, that's it for now. Thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hype, all that good shit. Let me know your thoughts on season 2. Are you looking forward to season 3? Who's your favorite V's? I love Vox and Velvet personally. I will see you all next time. Okay, I love you all. Bye.